Okay, Reggie, before we get into today's segment, is there anything you want to speak on or talk about briefly?
Right quick. Just want to acknowledge to the people that's out there about October the 12th in Compton. For those that y'all concerned, Rock Chisholm will be having his homecoming services. So any of y'all that want to go and pay homage to Rock Chisholm, y'all know how to get a hold of someone. But it's October the 12th. Uh, the services will be done for him. Rest in peace to Rock Chisholm. For those of y'all don't know who he is, he's one of the gentlemen that Tupac mentioned in the song Live and Die L.A. when he said Big Rock got locked. This one's for you. Uh, Second thing is, me, always Libras. The Libra gang. My apology, Libras. And so we wanted to shout you guys out. And thirdly, a lot of guys have been hitting me up that's fat like me. Have no business in the world wearing a size 3X, 4X, 5X. But some of us do, unfortunately. And y'all been asking for us to make some shirts, mainly some shirts that were sweat tops, because we always had the t-shirts for the big boys. But we now have on the website for the big boys, because I know it's getting cold back in the Midwest and in the East Coast. And so y'all go out and purchase those, especially those nice MOB shirts that y'all saw Suge and his homeboys wearing at the Soul Train Music Awards. It's a different color because they didn't have the color that we wanted, but it's a color that y'all will really love, that nice cherry red. So y'all can go pick up those sweat tops and support Bomb First. We'd really appreciate it. Other than that, y'all, no, let's get going.
Okay. Another thing that came out this week involving Diddy was that a male escort was doing a proffer session with the grand jury and turned over an alleged tape of himself and Cassie and Diddy. Did you see that? And do you have any thoughts on them continuing to bring in people and getting more evidence like these videos?
Yeah, oh, yeah. A lot of y'all want to say, oh, man, it's only one victim. Ain't nothing going to happen. That one victim, and it's Cassie. Let me explain something to you about the grand jury. They don't want to play their case. They don't want to put their case out. So all they did is took it to the grand jury so they can get Diddy in jail. So he can stop harassing all the witnesses. So witnesses can come forward. People will feel comfortable to come forward now that they know he's in jail. Y'all got to remember, didn't he blow up somebody's car? Ain't he accused putting $1 million head out on Tupac? Don't y'all remember that song that he bragged about? He put $1 million on your head. So, with all of this been said and been known, they knew they had to get Diddy off the streets. Let me teach y'all something else. The feds, the government is different than y'all state courts. A lot of y'all be like, because y'all play, I know all of y'all paralegals, and be like, oh, they got to tell us who the witness is, and they got to tell us who going to be testifying and all of that. Well, one thing about the feds is different than your state courts is they can hold all of that. They don't have to turn no victims and no witnesses over until the last minute. It's not like it is in discoveries in the state court. Y'all research that, learn about that. I'm not going to go too deep into y'all about laws and all of that on YouTube, but you hit me up individually, we'll talk about it. So my point is, they're going to be a proper session probably once or twice a week now. All of those 13 people or 12 lawsuits that's been filed, they coming in. They going to get brought in. Now, whether they all be good witnesses, just like that one dude that claimed to be a sex worker, he's not, that claimed that Puffy made him have sex with Cassie and Puffy watching all that. Y'all know that dude. I forget his name, something Gotti or Jody or Dottie or some shit like that. People like that, they got questionable backgrounds. But as I always tell y'all, if there's smoke, there's usually fire. So Glenn and Reggie could be saying the same thing, but Reggie's background is so messed up and Glenn's is so good, it makes things feel right when you're hearing it. And so they will harp on the good witness or victim more than they will, but they'll bring me in just to say the same thing that they pressed on with Glenn about. That's how they play this game. I'm saying all this to say, y'all gonna hear about more of these type of agreements coming out. I've been telling y'all, all y'all been like, it ain't no man, it's just been girls and all that. I've told y'all way back in December, a man gonna start coming out. Then Little Rob came out with his allegations in like February or something like that, a Little Rod. But it's gonna be more and more men, y'all. It's gonna be more and more proffer agreements. Don't let these people and Diddy's defense attorney have y'all tricked at this thinking there's one victim. Just because at this point, there's only one person. That's all they needed this to get his ass in jail. They can always add stuff to the indictment. They're going to add additional victims. They're going to add additional witnesses. They're going to add additional suspects to the indictment, y'all. If y'all don't listen to anything that Reggie Wright said, please hear me on that. This case is just the beginning. Now, Diddy is asking and said he want to have this trial done in 70 days, a speedy trial. Because that's what he's saying. He wants a speedy trial. Would be Diddy's worst mistake, y'all, if he allows his attorney to rush this case to justice, and because Diddy wants out. And he's going to be pressuring, hire 20 lawyers, do whatever to go through all of that evidence. But it might be a bad decision on his part. It's not going to happen. It'll be 2026 minimum before this case gets started. A lot of people going to come forward. There's going to be some people whose credibility going to get shot to the wayside. A lot of these victims and a lot of these people, I agree, is making up shit, trying to get paid, trying to get that bag. But they're going to get at least 4 to 5 people that are great witnesses, and he's going to have issues. So y'all going to be hearing about a lot more proffer agreements, but just all we pretty much saying on this video or this episode is stop saying it wasn't no man involved. It was just consenting females, and he was just watching them. Because now we got people other than Lil Rod that's saying Diddy was having sex with them as well. And that's sick. But it's your life.
Okay. It's been making the rounds over the last week on TikTok and stuff where people are taking this alleged Kim Porter book and reading excerpts out of it. I wanted to see if you've heard about this and if you have any thoughts on the book itself.
Well, number one, I'm not going to sit up here and say it ain't factual, it ain't this, or it ain't that, because we don't really know, right? But it's not sanctioned by the family. Just want y'all to know that. That is not the book that the family believes or know that Kim Porter was planning on putting out. Now, this guy is claiming to be a friend of Kim, and she turned over her computer or hard drive or something like that to him. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to touch on the stuff that I know, not to be factual, and I'm going to prove it to y'all right quick. Well, the groupies over there saying how Kim Porter didn't meet Puffy until, I think he said December of 1994, when he was working as a intern or something like that at Uptown Records. Well, like I always tell y'all need to stop listening to motherfuckers just pulling shit off the internet. Because just because that's the only picture he was able to find with Kim Porter and Puffy, if he would have just went a little further, and this is just something, and I'm not saying that it's true, what the guy his allegations are. I'm just saying his way of trying to tear the guy down is so not factual. We all know, anybody that really know this stuff, that Puffy left Uptown. Him and Andre Harrell started having problems, and he went and opened up his label in July of '93. So that's when he left and created Bad Boys and went and took the deal and got a deal over there with Arista and all of that. But this gentleman is saying that Tupac and Puffy was trying to both have sexual relationships with Kim. One of them said that you wasn't hitting it right and was going to have sex with the girl and all of that, putting Kim out like that. We all know Puffy and Pac were cool in '93. They all had some type of relationship, mainly because of his relationship with Biggie. But I'm just trying to show you, I don't believe that for that to be true. I don't believe that this guy is authorized to put this book out. But that don't mean that everything he's saying is not true. But I just want y'all to take it with a grain of salt. Everything that y'all hearing and fact check, because it's easy. The groupie did a decent job of showing pictures and stuff like that. But he went and took it to like 1994 is when, while Puffy was working as an intern or doing whatever he was doing with Andre Harrell, A&R, that's when he met Kim Porter. We know Puffy wasn't working with Andre Harrell in 1994 at December. They might have went to a party. They might have been still cool. But he wasn't working for him. He left in 1993, July of 1993. So this is where y'all getting y'all information from. I wouldn't support that book, but if you do support the book, please take it with a grain of salt. And this fact check stuff, that's all I'm going to say. Because y'all got to remember, people say stuff, especially use Tupac name and all of that, to sell books. Because that is one of the main things that we've been talking about from the book, right? At least that's all the questions I've been seeing in the comment section. What's your take on it, John?
From what I've seen, the family and friends of hers have flat out said the book is not true, that it's all fabricated. So yeah, I don't know. I didn't do the research as far as to fact check what was said, other than, there was things in there where, they said that Kim overheard him talking about the Tupac hit and all that stuff, which is, I'm not saying that that's not true. It just seems a little convenient. But, whatever. Like you said, take it with a grain of salt. There's so much misinformation on the internet these days that you almost have to double check everything you read. Because there's just, between TikTok and YouTube, you can find whatever you want to hear. You can find somebody telling you it's true nowadays. But yeah, I just, like you, I encourage people to do their research whenever they're reading anything.
And I hear Al B. Shore, which is Q Dad, is planning on doing some talking and putting something out. And so it'll be interesting to see what he has to say. And just know that Al B. Shore's son, Q, who Puffy has always said and always been given credit to for raising as a son, he was born in 1991. So that's an easy way for y'all to research, just to see when did Puffy claim he started being Q's father. Just to show, and I'm just here to show y'all that motherfucker over there don't know what he's talking about. If y'all going to And I'm not encouraging y'all to go listen to his video, but because all he's saying is 1994, December 1994. When he met her when he was an intern at a Christmas party. And I'm like, what the fuck he talking about? When I knew Puffy had been gone since 1993. Which y'all can go pull up. I know y'all, Reggie don't know what he's talking about, Reggie. Just ask Google. Hey Google, when did Puffy create Bad Boy Records? When did he leave Andre Harrell? And it'll tell you, July 1993. Peace bomb verse.
Okay, so this week, Diddy was hit with more lawsuits. There was one in particular, we'll get into a couple of others later, but one in particular where a young woman met him in 2020 and she was invited on an all expenses paid trip. She alleges that, he did what he usually does to other girls to her, and that she continued kind of seeing him up until, I believe, July, I believe the woman became pregnant, in 2022 after she was assaulted, and claims that that Diddy would contact her all the way up until July of this year, trying to press her about what she was going to say. Young Miami got involved and apparently tried to pressure her into having an abortion, which later she had a miscarriage. But I just wanted to get your thoughts on this newer lawsuit with who implicated Young Miami for saying that she was harassing her, if you saw that.
Yeah, I saw that particular lawsuit. Lawsuits like that, I'll tell you, I have a problem with. I have a problem when a victim goes back a second time and get victimized a second time, a third time, a fourth time, a fifth time. That's a problem for me, y'all. I'm sorry. One time it happens, hey, you got a hard time dealing with it and you realize that this happened to you and all of that. Totally. Whatever needs to be done. You get your psychological help, you get your therapy, you get your counseling, you get your courage up to do it. I get it. But when you come 20-something years later, or 4 years later in this case, 3 years later in this case, and then you want to lay out all of the different times that all the different events happen, where you saying all these bad things happened to you, but you kept going back, you kept communicating with them, I have a problem. Just like with that guy, Vince McMahon, right, John? Ain't that his name? The guy that's with the wrestling, the UFC, or which one is he? I forget which one he is.
He's the WWE one.
The WWE guy. He's getting sued right now and having some issues because he had a female that he was texting her, and she's showing all the texts. Maybe John will put up a few of them. If not, y'all can go research it. But this particular lady is showing how she was a sex worker for him. Not saying that's right or whatever, but she's obviously a worker for him. Admitting to going and doing all of these different sexual acts and all of that things with other people. And I got to research it. And I'll maybe have John speak on it a little more because he's all into this. But she gonna do all of this now. She want to sue. One time, totally agree with you guys. Problem. But when you keep being a continuance and it keep happening to you, and you keep going, and you're going, and you're going, and then once they cut you off, or you're not getting what you want anymore. Now you want to cry wolf. We gotta re-examine that, y'all. John, this right quick for the people that don't know what I'm talking about. If you can explain it to them, because I know you into that.
Sure. There was a young woman by the name of Janelle Grant who worked for Vince McMahon for a number of years, and apparently they had a consensual an affair. And I guess when she stopped working there, they had a non-disclosure agreement, and he agreed to pay her around $3 million or something like that. And something happened. I don't know where the disconnect was, but I guess he stopped paying, and she filed her lawsuit. And there was definitely disturbing stuff in there, but again,
but she appeared to be a willing participant with those disturbing stuff, right?
Yeah. From the text messages, it didn't look like she was telling him, no, I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that. But apparently he would tell her who to, have relationships with and who to get with. And, they would do things where Vince would be with other guys and her at the same time. And yeah, it just, she basically felt like she was being trafficked and that she was pressured to do this stuff for job security. But again, I always remind people that all we've heard is her side of a lawsuit. And like Reggie, and like you talk about on a lot of our episodes, when you do a lawsuit, you want to throw everything at the wall as much as you can just to see what sticks. But yeah, I'm not saying she's right or she's wrong, but yeah, that is something that's similar to what's going on with Diddy. Only in the sense of what he's being accused of, but obviously Diddy, there's, I think we're up to like 13 or 14 official lawsuits, and then, a bunch of other people. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Now that Reggie Wright put his Dr. Umar hat on and played a race card for a little bit, why hasn't the media been on Vince McMahon like they have been on Puffy or Diddy? Just throwing something out. Not saying either one's wrong. I understand. Diddy got underage kids. He has allegations. He has drugging allegations and all of that. But how many of y'all can really say y'all knew about this? Go talk to your grandma. She done heard about Diddy. Peace bomb first.
All right. Your boy Suge Knight made headlines last week when he went on News Nation and spoke with Chris Cuomo. One of the things he talked about that I wanted to get your opinion on was something he said before, but he repeated it for a more mainstream audience, which was that he believes that Diddy himself is a victim and that he was groomed to do this kind of stuff from people that schooled him. And mainly, he accused Clive Davis of being involved. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Suge has always said that. Always had maintained that and said that. He learned that from the higher-ups. Gene Deal. Y'all going to give Gene Deal credit for it. Because he said it. But I really believe he got that from... Because I know all the shit he'd be getting from Reggie Wright interviews. And so I really believe he echoed that from hearing Suge Knight saying that before. But Gene has said it as well. But yeah, definitely Suge has believed that. I believe that. You from people that you look up to, you learn things from, and you try to emulate what they're doing. Clive Davis admitted, he said bisexual. I don't believe that's such a word from a man. I believe that only applied to females, but hey, that's Reggie Wright. But all of them men, Russell Simmons, I don't know anything about Andre Harrell, I can't say. But people like that is who Suge has said. He even said Jimmy Iovine. Have y'all noticed? Yeah, I remember Jimmy Iovine had a lawsuit right around the time Diddy's came out in December. Yeah, I noticed. You ain't heard nothing about that, huh? But anyway, so yeah, people like that do things like that, and that's what Sugar's saying, that they learned from him, and he learned that, and then he tried to be like them, and that's all he knew. Gotta remember, Puffy was just raised by a female. I don't think him and his daddy had a relationship too long, if ever. And so, of course, he's not gonna respect females or women being that way. So he looked up to the male role model that was looking out for him and taking care of him. And I totally agree with Suge Knight when he says that he believed people like that. Clive Davis issued a statement immediately when Suge, when Suge made that allegation on the Como show, and pretty much saying, he's a felon. Okay, just because you're a felon don't mean you don't know what happened in the 90s and what's been going on in 2000s. And that while we listen to a felon, just because you're a felon, man, fuck that felon shit. We about to have a felon president. So I don't agree with those type of statements, but that's the go-to word that people like to say. And how would he know? Should probably talk to more people now on the phones that's still in the business or around the business or on YouTube or reading and stuff like that than he did when he was on the streets. So of course he's gonna hear stuff. But the main thing that Suge was mainly talking about was shit that happened in the 90s. He has known that. Suge has always made those allegations and those statements about Clive Davis. Not so much Jimmy. Jimmy just of late, because Suge being Suge. He gonna jab at Jimmy because he's cool with Dre. But I always known Jimmy to have decent, beautiful women as well. Not gonna say Jimmy's gay. But Suge knows him 10 times, 50 times better than I do. But I totally agree with what Suge's saying. I get what he's saying. And I do believe what he's saying is accurate, John. What would be my take on that?
Something else that he said was, which really made headlines, was that Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, Jimmy Iovine, and others have known this whole time about Diddy's criminal activity. Do you believe that? And I guess the way I would ask you this is, did you truthfully ever hear about Diddy doing this kind of stuff when you were running Death Row?
Okay. Well, Pac told us. Tupac Shakur told us. He put him in a tutu, a pink tutu, and all of that. So, of course, I told y'all how Misa said, he was acting big like a little bitch, and his mama was calling, saying, "Bring Justin home, come home." Diddy going crazy. He's trying to commit. We done heard all the allegations and stuff back in the 90s, right? However, I really believe people went to these particular parties. I just want to know who went to the after parties. Those are the parties we got to be concerned about. Y'all remember the heavyset white guy, the Jewish dude or something? I forget what he calls himself, the Jewish boy or something like that. How he said he went to a white party, one of those parties. And he said he went to the party and there was nothing but beautiful women in one room, in the front of the room. But he said he kept walking around and kind of got lost. And that's where he saw stuff that was unspeakable. And no females was around. Y'all go research that interview. It's out there. And that's what I believe was going on. To say who knows what Diddy was doing and all of that, who knows? Aaron Hall kind of let stuff out on Vlad, right? Y'all see Aaron Hall's in a lawsuit now. people have been letting stuff out. It's just unfortunate in the business. People have been seeing it so much. Just like y'all. I know it. I see it in the comment section. Y'all making me change on when I use the word about people, about their sexuality. I'm chilling on that because I'm understanding from TV shows and stuff like that. You keep seeing stuff, you're seeing people in your family and all of that. We starting to accept it. And I think that's what happened in the entertainment industry is people saw stuff so much that it was like, okay, this is what's norm. This is okay. As long as I ain't doing it, it's okay. But that's how they swing. That's how they get down. Just like with the snorting. People started doing stuff like that at parties in the opening, where that was something you used to do in the bathroom, hiding. So that would be my take. I don't want to say who is, who isn't, who knew. I just want to start hearing about the people that's on tape and was at the after party. Because just because people went to the party that was popping, the one that we see all on videos and stuff like that, that don't mean that they went to the after party, y'all. So just think about that when people were posting the videos, i.e. Bomb First, showing Ashton Kutcher and Chris Brown and all of them dancing around a whole bunch of people. LeBron James talking about the Diddy parties and all of that. That don't mean they went to the after party, y'all.
When this does eventually, and I think you said you believe it'll be 2026 when Diddy's case goes to trial. When it eventually does, who do you feel could or couldn't testify? Do you have any thoughts?
Well, Little Rod said he have a whole bunch of footage, right? Trust me, that footage is going to be dissected. Already in the government's possession, being dissected. Now, I'll tell some people that I would be scared for. I would be scared for Mary J. Blige. Shout out Danny Boy. I would be scared for, y'all see that picture with Mary J. Blige and Puffy? Where they were all walking like a threesome? Where Cassie was holding Puffy's hand and Mary was holding her hand? That looked a little weird. But females does that at parties and stuff. Trying not to lose each other. They hold each other's hand. This look weird. I believe Gene Deal's going to be testifying for an atmosphere. I believe Roger Bond's going to be either an indicted witness or a unindicted co-conspire. So I believe he's going to have issues. I believe Mark Curry is going to definitely be a witness. I believe all of the victims or the people that file lawsuits going to be witnesses or victims. I believe a lot of Bad Boy staff, that Pierre guy, I believe he's going to be indicted. I believe Aaron All going to be indicted. Who else been named in the lawsuit? I believe a lot of staff members are going to be indicted and going to be arrested. They may get out. They may become witnesses for the government, But they definitely, if they haven't contacted, that's why that U.S. attorney specifically said in his press conference, if you know you've been involved or on any of those tapes, he didn't say it in those words, but that's what he meant. If you know you were involved, contact us immediately before we contact you. When they say that, they're telling you, come talk to us. If not, we're going to come talk to you. And when they come and talk to you, they're going to put you in some cuffs and set you in a cell. Now, a lot of times they just want to use you to get those 4 or 5 main people. But they coming. Jake the jeweler, he's going to be talked to. He may be picked up. It's going to be a lot of people that we don't know, we haven't heard of, that's going to be getting arrested. I don't believe, like a lot of y'all believe, that guy from Nike and all of that. You know, I know Warner Music had a big shakeup. They had some people that got laid off and fired and all of that. That everybody been making allegations and assumptions about. Kevin Lyle's thing might have been bad timing. Who knows? But he was close to Russell Simmons and Leor. So it's going to be interesting to see. Hope my girl Cap don't be involved in this, but I'm sure she's some type of witness. Capricorn, Clark. October, November is going to be interesting, y'all. And we can see they're already working. They're already meeting with people, giving people proffer agreements. When you get a proffer agreement, it's because they really want to talk to you and you don't want to have any type of exposure. And like I said, I'll reiterate, when I got my proffer agreement and they offered it to me, I didn't know what they were coming at me for. But once I learned about it, then I was immediately like, oh, I don't need one for that. But the people that actually sign things and go and sit and have those proffer agreements, well, yeah. There's some smoke. There was some fire at one time. Will be my take.
Speaking of that, Reggie, let me ask you about this. There's a Houston-based law firm that claims that they're representing over 50 alleged victims who said that they faced assault from Diddy and his associates, and that a lot of them were people that were involved with the quote-unquote freak-off parties. What are your thoughts when you hear that there's a law firm that claims they have over 50 alleged victims?
It's going to be, everybody going to be coming out. Everybody going to be coming out of the woodworks. I told y'all back in December when he settled that $30 million lawsuit, worst mistake of his life. Whoever advised him to do that, I don't get why. Because now everybody figure, shit, I'm going to make this claim. Let's see what happened if he paying out this quick. And that's how attorneys thinking. That attorney get 1/3 of every one of those different victims. That would be their only practice. It was to sue Diddy. And so I know a lot of people always, and I'm always saying the attorneys and all of that, and Diddy's gonna go broke. Well, that's why Diddy's gonna go broke, y'all. Diddy's gonna go broke because of all of these different settlements that he's going to have to make. And because he's going to be trying to silence people. His attorney is going to be going, his boy is going to be going to him and saying, hey, stop participating with the U.S. government. You ain't got to say nothing. We're going to settle this case with you. Here's $5 or $10 million. Go away. That's what they're doing. If he got any people that's working for him. That's how they coming at him right now. We ain't saying, don't, but we saying that. We'll make this happen. And think about it. Think about it. Would you do it? Would you go away right now for $5 million? $10 million for something that happened 10, 15, 20 years ago? I don't know. I bet you they would, though. So, all the others, he got $200, $300 million. He ain't going broke. He ain't going broke. Trust me. A man will spend their last dollar for their freedom. Ask Michael Harriot. Peace.
People on social media are rehashing old interviews and video clips and things like that. In particular, things regarding Justin Bieber and Usher and stuff like that when it comes to Diddy, saying that this is like this is evidence that he did something to them and he did stuff to them. I just wanted to get your take because I know people have feelings on both sides. But when you see these older videos, what are your thoughts? Do you think it shows some sort of guilt, or do you think it's all innocent?
King son, man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you. Yeah. He's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
I really believe they were victims at one time somehow. I'm not saying male on male, but even them being exposed to females that were over 18 years of age. When they being young, they were victims. I believe he exposed them to drug use at a young age. And I believe he exposed them to sexual activities with people that were older or at least adults. I'm not saying male or females, I don't know. But it's obvious, especially Justin Bieber, that he is terrified of Diddy. Want no part to do with Diddy. And it's unfortunate that he got exposed to that at that age. But that's the price that comes with fame, y'all. Those kids, we seen the situation with R. Kelly, where Sparkle now regrets what she allowed R. Kelly to do with her niece. But at the time, I truly believe she knew what was going on. And even as y'all saw, some of those parents, y'all have blamed the parents on the R. Kelly situation. On a lot of those situations, you can tell that the parents were kind of letting their kids let their hair down for the price of fame. And it worked for Justin Bieber and Usher. They both seemed to, got away from Diddy and seemed to be healthy. I don't know if y'all ever noticed, any female that Usher ever been with was always older than he was. And so that right there should be a sign. I don't know too much about Justin Bieber relationships, but I have seen pictures of Justin Bieber when Diddy's around. And if y'all can't tell that that's a victim, and somehow, then y'all radar antennas is not up, or you just being a sympathizer. And so that would be my only take. I hope, like heck, and I don't believe that they would ever expose Diddy, just because it will have to expose things that they were subject to. And so a lot of people said they're going to be the ones and they're going to talk and all of that. those two men have moved on with their life, have a great career, appears to have great relationships, and going to put all of this past them. That would be my take.
We talked about this a number of months ago, but obviously looking back at it now makes a little more sense. But what were your thoughts when Diddy was accepting that award a couple of months ago? I believe it was at a BET Awards. And this was before the lawsuits and all that stuff. And he said...
yeah, and also Cassie for holding me down in the dark times. Love.
He was apologizing, y'all. I keep trying to teach people and try to tell people that before lawsuits actually get filed, there's usually, and in some cases, the attorneys have to put you on some type of notice that a lawsuit is about to be filed against you. And I believe negotiations and stuff like that was starting between Diddy and Cassie. But at some point, they fell apart. Diddy seems to be a very, very arrogant person, and don't believe fat meat is greasy. And he learned real quick. He probably, and it's obvious for a person to change their mind and fork up that type of money the next day. He was wanting to. He was very close to making that settlement. But either he was dragging his feet, thinking that he still had Cassie head like he used to have it, or that attorney was telling him, we're going to win, or we got you, or whatever. And that attorney was trying to get his last little bill paid or whatever, and those people filed on him at the last minute. Something happened. From that time in June or July till the time of November when she filed the lawsuit. In between that time, it was a breakdown somewhere. But that was his way of reaching out to her at that time. On that particular day, he was trying to, in his own way, apologize to Cassie and show her some type of love or respect. But he didn't show her enough respect or love because during that time, something broke down and the communication stopped and she spanked him hard. she spanked the shit out of him because I really don't believe all these people would have started and brought up all these lawsuits if Cassie lawsuit was never taken by attorneys, and then attorneys saw that, hey, he's selling this quick. His company's selling like this. This shit is true. And then attorneys start saying, hey, okay, we can prove this now. And then they starting to hear about the little rod tapes and stuff like that. Because there probably was rumors about it. We have this one particular victim. We'll get into that later. But I believe that's how she got this big, high, powerful attorney that she got. Well, she was able to say, hey, it's a tape of this. It's a tape of this out there. And people started believing. So we just hearing about this in 2023. People around Diddy have been hearing about all of this stuff about 2022 that people were starting to complain about his actions. He didn't learn shit from it. he didn't learn. Because as we see from a lawsuit with Young Miami and the victim, you know, that's claiming what they were doing. They did freakouts. They did those type of situations after the raids. I wouldn't even been able to eat after the raids. Not enough thinking about having some sex But Diddy was. If we believe everything the victim said in her lawsuit.
Okay, another lawsuit came out last week, and this particular victim basically said that she was given something that made her not remember a lot of things, but that she was at a recording studio with Diddy and his bodyguard, and that they, against her will, had her participate in activities and videotaped it, and that they had sent it around to, you know, their group of friends and things like that, and it made its way back to her. What were your thoughts when you heard that?
Yeah. Gloria Allred is the one that got that particular victim. That's a powerful attorney out here on the West Coast, y'all. For those of y'all not really familiar with her on the East Coast. And she usually always get the females that stuff bad has happened to. She's a very advocate for women's rights. Okay. For her to take that particular case on, I think she took it because there's something was mentioned about where this young lady started claiming that they made porn videos or selling it on the internet as porn, or one of her friends saw it as porn. How they saw that, I don't know. I really believe, and that's why I have always been saying that I believe this has been going around since like 2022, when the tapes and people were starting to send tapes to people saying, hey, look, is this you? Was this you? Or Puffy pissed off somebody and made him, this particular person, start giving all these people tapes. Now, my take is I can't wait. I'm going to be honest, I can't wait to hear Gene Deal talk about this particular guy. Because when they said 2001 Bodyguard, I was hoping it was Gene Deal ass. No, I'm just joking, y'all. But I was glad to hear it wasn't Gene Deal. But Gene has to know this guy, right? As Gene has always said, he was there until 2003. So that's why I always say Gene is going to be called in as a witness, because all of this stuff, we done heard him talk about the drinks and the crazy shit that he did to Kadada by pissing in the bottle, right? For all of y'all say, he wouldn't do that, he wouldn't do that. This nigga's at a fucking banquet and going to piss in the bottle or a glass to try to make her drink some piss just because she was cool with Tupac. So, that pattern. So you got all of this shit that happened in 97, 98 or whatever. Then you got this bodyguard doing this to this young lady in 2001. Gene had to know this guy. And so that's going to be a pattern. And then all the way to, we know when the indictment started in 2008. Like I said, I'm not up here saying that anything going to happen to Gene, but I think that indictment is going to be updated if that tape turned out. And now that victim, and she got Gloria Allred in her ear, that's going to work with the government and supply her and get her whenever she need, and that tape comes out, like she said that she was handcuffed with some plastic bag, and she naming names of the bodyguard and Diddy. And man, if she has that tape like they claiming, that alone going to get people in trouble. I'm sure that particular bodyguard, John had asked me in a segment before, of somebody that's going to be going to jail, he's going to jail. Especially if it's on tape with a victim like that. I'm giving her a little slack, y'all. I know I always talk about victims that things like this happen to, and then, 21, 22 years later, they come up complaining about it. The reason why I'm giving her a slack, because as I understand it, and remember, and I'm sure y'all correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, is she just learned about this stuff. She always knew it happened, but she just got the evidence to prove it. that these things happened to her in like 2022. She says she's been going through all type of issues since it happened to her in 2001. For some reason, I want to give this young lady a pass. If she learned about this when she says she did. And that one's going to be a problem. That particular victim, and if there's a tape, it's going to be a problem for Puffy, mainly because Puffy, that gentleman that she's alleging, that also did those things. Y'all say Reggie Wright Jr. snitch on Suge Knight, which there's no evidence of. Y'all about to get y'all first bodyguard that's going to snitch on Diddy. Trust me. Because I'm sure Diddy hasn't been taking care of him. And I'm sure he's just as angry of a black man as Kirk Barrows and Gene Deal. Because the only friend that Diddy appears to have from the early 2000s, it's fucking Stevie J. What you doing to Stevie J? What you doing to Stevie J? Peace. Oh yeah, and Snoop Dogg. Don't get that relationship at all.
Okay, let me ask you this. So we've talked a lot about Diddy and what he's facing and how how he's feeling, what his plan is in jail and all that stuff. If we can flip it, can you tell me, if you were in his position, what would you be focusing on right now? What would you be trying to instill in yourself to allow you to keep going on, to keep trying to stay positive, to keep trying to fight? If you were in his position, what would you be focusing and doing right now?
Well, first, I'll be on my knees praying to God to forgive me. And then, secondly, my family. I'll tell you, when I went through the situation that I did, the most people that I worried about was my wife, my kids, my parents, my sisters, and my nieces and nephews, and aunts and uncles that I embarrassed the hell out of. So people like that would be the ones that I would be concerned about after me and God had that great conversation. Okay, that's all the political correct things you're supposed to say, which is true, But I know we want to hear more things about what we'll be doing as far as trying to get right with the system, and I would be like trying to get this shit over with. Come on, y'all, government, all right. Let me keep my shit so my kids and my family can live okay. Let me pay a little bit of money to y'all, get my slap on my hand, and let me go and start trying to do this time. Because I done seen so many people get drained. The government, the United States government prosecution department, the U.S. Department of Justice, they have a 97% conviction rate, y'all. And most people plead out after they spend tons of money saying that they were innocent. So my advice to Mr. Combs would be, try to protect yourself as best you can. What I mean by that is go ahead and give them a little bit of time, but try to keep your stuff, your shit that you worked hard for. That would be my advice. Try to go and get into that system and get protected. Get with those 4 or 5 dudes at whatever institution you're going to go to that's going to look out for you and make you good. Get that one female that's going to stick by you. If it ain't your mother, since he, seemed to have a special relationship with his mother, but she's not going to be here too long because she shouldn't be up in age. And trust me, this stress is killing her. The stress on your family kills you more than they're probably killing you. So try to get with that person that's going to have your back. You don't need to have a whole bunch. You just need one or two that's going to have your back, go through this shit with you. Get your bills and your financial situations right. I would liquidate everything and just have it in an account and set up a nice, good trust where I'll know if something happened to me, if I don't make it through the system, that the people I love and care about are straight or satisfied. That would be my goal. But before
Can he liquidate? Because didn't they put like a lien or something to where he can't sell or something like that?
Well, I'm sure that they did it. They haven't said that officially. They just said that they're considering it a criminal enterprise. But that's what you get all that shit worked out. That's what I'm saying. That's why one of the first things I said, get that time right and get it where all that stuff is protected. That would be the things I'll be working on getting done. Before I take that plea agreement, I wouldn't be taking the plea agreement not knowing what they're going to take from me. So I would get all of that in place. Those would be the things I'll be working on. I wouldn't be trying to worry about fighting this case to the point where I know it's going to drain me. I'm not going to put all of these attorneys, make them generation rich off of fighting this case for me. That's what I would be doing. I know, and that's why I explained the conviction rate of 97%. I know he's going to do some time. It's just how much time you're going to do and what I'm going to be able to save. And those will be the things I'll be fighting for.
Okay, last but not least, have you seen, and if you haven't, we'll just cut it, but have you seen or watched any of Snoop Dogg on The Voice since he joined the cast or no?
Man, Snoop Dogg to me is, I told y'all he's an entertainer. Y'all remember I told y'all, and everybody used to get on me with like, if I had an artist to go see and go and watch or a concert, who concert that I would want to go and see. I even told you about the time I took my son to his first concert that was at Lake Elsinore. Snoop Dogg is very entertaining. He's like a Michael Jackson, a Britney Spears were back in the day, Janet Jackson was, a Prince, people like that. Rest in peace to our boy Frankie Beverly, Charlie Wilson. He's an entertainer on that status. Anything he does, the NBC is already trying to hire him for the 2028 Olympics because he did such a great job of being a mascot. I call him mascot for 2024. And so I'm one that believes he's an entertainer and he's very entertaining. I'm entertained by him. I know grandparents and older people that are entertained by him. Don't like him personally. Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bean Bryant's my favorite basketball player of all times over Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Kareem, Shaq, all of them. Don't think I would want to hang around with Kobe Bryant. So just because you like how someone does something, don't mean that you want to be their friend or hang out with them. And so it's not surprising on The Voice how great of a job he's doing. The rating's going to go up and bring it to that young crowd, the black crowd. People love Snoop. Snoop beat out Garth Brooks, y'all, in 1995 for Best Male Artist of the Year. Garth Brooks. He has that it factor. Tupac Shakur had that it factor. Tupac Shakur's not here, y'all. So it's hard to compare Snoop to Tupac because unfortunately Tupac's not here. Snoop's here. I, on record, will tell you guys this. right now. Because I've been trying to think. Who in the hell is Kendrick Lamar going to bring out at the Super Bowl? Who should he bring out with him at the Super Bowl to perform? Guess who I came up with? He might not get it because I know he's a Universal person now. And that's, I think the Super Bowl going to be on Fox this year. Not 100% sure, so don't quote me. But if he's on Channel 4, on NBC, and guess who album supposed to come out in December or November? It's going to be Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre, y'all. Watch who Kendrick brings. Because who else can he bring? Nobody from New Orleans fucking with him. They all mad in their feelings. Can't do Drake. But I'm telling y'all, ratings will go through the roof if they do what? Me as a market, this is how sharp Reggie motherfucking Wright was when I was in the game. Fuck the bullshit. It's time to work. Guess who I would have at the motherfucking Super Bowl if I was Jay-Z? I would have Kendrick, and guess who would have dropped off in a motherfucking helicopter where nobody would have known? Fucking Drake. They would be on that Super Bowl stage together, doing their diss songs. That's how I am. That's the type of marketing guy I am. But y'all put in the comment section, who y'all think? That's our new trivia question. Who's going to perform? And whoever gets it right, y'all know we honor our word. It's a t-shirt. $50. Because y'all don't, I know the haters don't like our t-shirts. Because y'all just haters. Matter of fact, fuck the haters. Only the motherfuckers that love Bomb First, that'll wear a Bomb First t-shirt. Get one. Y'all tell who going to be performing with Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl in New Orleans, February the 9th, 2025. Peace.